Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Makai, owner and creator of Made by Makai. And if you're interested in making these vegan cinnamon rolls, keep watching. The first thing you're going to need is 2 cups of plant-based milk. The recipe I use recommended soy milk because it's a little bit thicker, but honestly I feel as though any plant-based milk will do the trick. And the milk has to be warm and not hot. Warm so that the yeast will be activated, because if the milk is too hot, it will kill the yeast. And we do not want that, okay? Then you're going to need a half a cup of melted vegan butter. I use Earth Balance. Then you're going to need some yeast and some sugar. So this is the warm soy milk, and to that I'm adding a half a cup of sugar. And then I'm going to go right ahead and add those 5 tablespoons of yeast. Okay, the yeast was sold in a package of 3. Honestly, I might go ahead and buy just a container of yeast because I can see myself baking a lot more now. I started off with a fork mixing it together, but then I realized, okay, I think I'm gonna need something a little bit better than that. So I just switched to a wooden spoon. And right now you're just incorporating all the ingredients together, and then you're gonna let this rest for 5 minutes. And after that, it'll look a little foamy like this, okay? Bam, that's how you know it's working. You're gonna pour in that melted butter and then about a half a teaspoon of salt, okay? After that, you're gonna add your flour. I'm pretty sure it's 4.5 cups of flour. And if you don't know how to use flour or measure flour, you just scoop it up like that. You don't take the whole scoop and dump it in there. Use a spoon to scoop it up, level the top, and then pour it on top. You know, I learned how to scoop flour when I was in middle school. We still had cooking classes back then, or whatever like that. So then you're going to just put the flour on top, and then you're going to put all your flour on top. And after that, you're just going to incorporate it together. Honestly, this was very fun to make. I enjoyed making this. I made the batter actually the night before, or I just made the cinnamon rolls the night before, and I didn't bake them till the next morning because it was pretty late at night and I wanted them fresh in the morning, if you know what I'm saying, okay? So here I'm just incorporating it all together, mixing that up. And another thing you have to do is add more flour, because you're mixing it until the dough doesn't stick to the edges of the bowls. So just like here, I'm mixing it up, and then it'll look like that when it's completed. So then what you're going to do is flour your surface and put the dough on top of there, and you're going to start to knead out your dough. We're going to knead our dough before we let it rise in the oven. Now to let it rise, you're going to turn on your oven to 170 degrees. As soon as it gets there, you're going to turn the oven off, cover your dough with a towel, place it in the oven for 20 minutes with the oven door cracked, and it will come out looking something like this. Then you're going to lightly flour another surface so we can get ready to punch out our dough. And we're going to get ready to punch it out and roll it out so we can put our filling in it. So I added a little more flour. I honestly added too much extra flour, but they still turned out fine. So here's me punching out the dough, getting it real, ready to rumble. It's getting ready for that delicious filling we're about to put in there. So I'm rolling out my little tiny rolling pin. I used my rolling pin in my hand, and I just did my best just to get it into a rectangular shape, because you want it into a rectangle. So this is honestly not really that hard. Make sure you have a good even surface layer, so when you cut your cinnamon rolls, it's going to be even. We don't want no wonky cinnamon rolls. So then I used almost this whole half stick of butter. It's about 6 tablespoons you'll use of butter. And I have the exact recipe linked down below that I use. And so you're just going to spread butter all over that. You want this buttery, you want this cinnamony, you want this brown sugary or whatever. You want your cinnamon rolls to taste good. And another thing I liked about this is it wasn't too sweet. So I'm using organic brown coconut sugar, just some cinnamon. And honestly, I say you could add extra. Don't go crazy, but just add enough. Like, you want to taste the brown sugar. You want to taste the cinnamon. It's a cinnamon roll, of course. But honestly, I had fun with this part, just, because I knew I was almost done, okay? And then what you want to do is you take the edges, and that's a little bit of flour that dropped off my hand. You just want to roll up the edges slowly. Don't rush this part because you don't want the whole thing to mess up. Just take your time and roll it up, because it's a cinnamon roll. I just remembered how happy I was. I was like, oh, gee, I'm almost done. This is so exciting. Because this is my first time ever making cinnamon rolls from scratch. Usually I'd get the canned ones and you just throw those in the oven. But this is more rewarding and it tastes so much more better. And these things ended up huge. These were like huge ass cinnamon rolls. So you roll it all up, and after that, you're just gonna line it up so it makes it easier to cut. Look at that. Just look at that. And then you're going to take a serrated knife because that works best. And you're just going to cut off your slices, okay? And really the two end slices, the top end and the bottom end, to me have the least amount of filling in it. I wouldn't say throw them away. I'd put those one to the side and be like, these have the least amount, but they're still good. They were still good. But I just noticed the middle cinnamon rolls were the ones that had, most of the flavor. Like, look at that. Look at the third one I cut. That one is just, and the fourth one, like, look at these. Did such a good job, And so that's about how they look. And then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to put them in the pan and get them ready for baking. Now we're going to make our icing. So I use some powdered sugar, some vanilla, and some cream cheese, some vegan cream cheese. And honestly, I didn't measure this at all. I just was like, this seems pretty simple. I don't need to really follow a recipe. I just need to throw the ingredients in there. So I ended up using the whole container of cream cheese. And really, it's not a bad cream cheese. It's a light cream cheese. It's not like regular cream cheese. It's less thick than that. I might have added a teeny bit too much vanilla, but that was okay because I ended up using the whole package of cream cheese. Added some powdered sugar. There is a recipe that you could use that she has, but honestly, I did my own. And I added a little bit of soy milk. And this powdered sugar gets everywhere if you're using a hand mixer. You don't have to use a hand mixer by all means. I just did it because it's nice bringing the hand mixer out from time to time. And then I ended up going in with a spoon and mixing it up because I was adding more. And I just wanted to make sure, everything was incorporated. Boom. So after your cinnamon rolls come out the oven, they're going to look delicious and beautiful like this. You let them cool down and then you ice them. Like, just look how wonderfully iced these are. I was so proud of myself. I was like, these look delicious. Now I had them in the oven at 375 for 25 minutes. I would say about 20 minutes. Check them. Just look at that. That is a cinnamon roll. These cinnamon rolls taste just as good, if not better, than how they look, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share with someone who'd love, and subscribe. I'll see you all next Thursday.